passion drives change, and connection fuels purpose, one leader continues to illuminate the path forward in the world of direct selling. For more than 3 decades, Meredith Berkich has stood at the forefront of transformation, building high-performing teams, inspiring individuals, and championing change. Her journey is both wide and deep, earning respect as a powerful field leader and a visionary executive with a passion for people and performance. Under her leadership, companies soar to new heights, achieving over $1 billion in annual revenue. Meredith's contributions have earned her global recognition, honored as one of the most influential women in direct selling. Her commitment to empowering entrepreneurs spans the globe. Today at LifeWave, she brings her passion and purpose to a new era of growth. LifeWave was recognized with the Direct Selling News Bravo Growth Award for 2 years in a row, breaking records and rewriting what's possible. More than strategy, it's her heart for people that drives change, empowering entrepreneurs and transforming lives across the globe. Join us in shaping the future of wellness and opportunity. Led by a woman of vision, strength, and unstoppable purpose, Meredith Berkich.
Hello, LifeWave community. Meredith Berkich, your president here, welcoming you to the June event in Asia Pacific, where we'll be talking about a number of areas of belief building, including the Compensation 2.0 project. But before I get started, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you on behalf of all of us at LifeWave, on behalf of our founder and chairman, David Schmidt. Thank you for being the light, and thank you for sharing that light with the world and helping us to be the fastest growing direct selling company in the world. And so I want to take a step back for just a moment. Those of you that are newer to LifeWave, and just kind of give you that little bit of backstory about the 20 years that we have been in business. LifeWave is a legacy company. And the reason that I'm sharing that is because that is reflected in Compensation 2.0. And so I want to, again, go back in time for a moment and think about David Schmidt and think about the belief in this gentleman, in this human being that is not only an innovator, an inventor, a creator, but also a visionary and a true savant. What we have in the treasure of David Schmidt allows us to move forward into the future with great confidence, knowing that the legacy that was started all those years ago will be here for you and your families in a multi-generational opportunity for years, decades to come. And so as we start out again thinking about LifeWave, working for 15 years and then really coming up to the day that X39 hit it, that convergence of trends, 3 trends coming together all at once. In 2018, X39 coming on the market, obviously a global pandemic that elevated everybody's awareness to wellness and saying, wow, I need to do something to protect my family and my friends who are suffering all around them. And we had the wellness revolution that was taking place in addition to talent that was coming to LifeWave. And with that, the innovation of David Schmidt, the convergence of trends that took place right around the year of 2018 with X39, the greatest technological invention yet at LifeWave. And I say yet because we know there's something very new on the horizon. But we have the introduction of X39. We have the pandemic, global pandemic hitting right around that time that tragically caused people to be really focused on health and wellness as people all around were suffering. And then we had people coming to LifeWave at that same time that were focused on the business, that were focused on the opportunity, and that were focused on one single project and one single product to lead. And because of the convergence of those trends, we started on a rocket rise that has put us to become what is known as the darling of the direct selling sector. And what does being the darling of the direct selling industry actually mean? It means that we have taken the world by storm. We have captured the hearts, minds, and imaginations of people everywhere. And in Asia in particular, we have seen tremendous growth as we've opened and invested in multiple offices across the territory, of course, beginning with South Korea, which was the biggest opening in the recent years. We've also opened new offices in Latin America as well. But as we focus on the future, as we look at moving forward in Asia in particular, it really became apparent that in addition to all of the growth that we're experiencing with new buildings and new people, that we needed to evolve the compensation plan. And so that brings us to where we are today, talking about Compensation Plan 2.0 and why a new compensation plan, why these enhancements, and why now. So some of you might be asking, why compensation enhancements? Why now when we are in such tremendous momentum? And the mission of the plan is really threefold, because we need to create an innovation in compensation plan that's going to richly reward people no matter how they want to build their direct selling enterprise. We need to make sure that we are attracting new talent around the world. We also need to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to keep that talent. In other words, to increase our retention and to reduce our attrition. And thirdly and finally, we need to make sure that people are richly rewarded for their efforts at every stage of the life cycle, from that brand new person that just enrolled today to the person that has been with us throughout the 20 plus years here at LifeWave. Some people prefer not to talk about money. They prefer not to talk about compensation. They feel much more comfortable talking about products. And so I think what you might want to do is adjust your mindset and think about a compensation plan as a product like a milkshake. And so it has features, it has a purpose, it has a mission, it has components and elements to it that make it relevant in your life, just like a milkshake. So you buy a milkshake at, I know McDonald's is very popular in Asia. So you get your milkshake and you get back in the car and you take a drive. And the milkshake is neat and tidy. It doesn't get on your clothes. It lasts for many, many miles. It provides you some level of nutrition. It provides you with energy, and it sustains you over a drive of many, many miles, or a subway ride of many, many miles. Because it has features and benefits. The LifeWave Compensation 2.0 has features and benefits. It has a purpose. Its purpose, again, is to reward people for sharing the light of LifeWave. That is its purpose. Now, the features of it makes it so that you can share just to get your products at a discount. Maybe you get your products for free. Maybe you just want a little extra spending money at the end of the month. Maybe you actually are looking to build a legacy. Whatever it is, the features and benefits of Compensation 2.0 can meet those needs, because there are 9 ways to earn now, twice as many as there ever were before, as you look to be compensated for sharing the light. So as we think about the 9 ways to earn, remember they have a purpose, they have a feature set, they have a benefit set. Because again, as we go into looking at Compensation Plan 2.0, what we wanted to accomplish when we started this project 3 years ago. 3 years ago, this project actually began with meeting with leaders, finding out what it was that was causing pause, where areas could be enhanced to make it a more effective plan. And so really, there was a whole group of people, even a year before I got here, that had done that work. And so leading into the plan, what I did was I sat down, I read through transcripts, watched videos, and I really evaluated all of the contributions that had been given for us to make sure that we developed a very comprehensive plan. And then we went to work. And so for the last 2 years, we have joined up with 3 of the premier compensation plan designers in the world to evaluate, to assess, and to model the current LifeWave business. Again, a business in momentum, current compensation plan, what was working, what wasn't, and then how we could make that impact people as they grew their business. And most importantly, made sure that we put money into the front end of the plan. The 3 components of this plan that we needed to talk about early on were, number 1, we needed it to be a sustainable plan. It needed to be a sustainable plan. And what that basically means is for the next 20 years, because we're not looking to be doing this over and over again, every year and causing you to be distracted. We're looking to give you a sustainable plan for the next decades to come. And in that sustainability, what we needed to do was reduce attrition, but we also needed to de-emphasize the binary. The reason that we needed to de-emphasize the binary is because it isn't rewarding enough people. The majority of people who join LifeWave, especially in those early months, are not cycling, which means the binary is not working for them. And so, yes, we are still a binary plan. Yes, that's exactly who we are, and they are still our binary rewards. And so as we compiled all of the information, as we modeled the plan over and over repeatedly, over 30 times of modeling to make sure that we were impacting and rewarding the right behaviors, we had those 3 primary objectives that were leading us and guiding us along the way. And that first one was all about that sustainability, being able to say that this plan is going to work for you over the next decade, so that all we need to do is make minor modifications as the plan matures. So first we need it to be sustainable. And some of you may know, if you're impacted by that monthly cap, LifeWave pays out a record amount in our profession, in our sector, of up to 60%. And as we have matured, we have begun to hit that cap more frequently than we aren't. And so the reason that we have to really look at the sustainable plan is, how can we not have that happen? Do the work, you're rewarded. Do this, you get that. And then secondly, again, going back to what I mentioned before, making sure that the new talent stays. So in this new modified plan, over 60% more people, over 60% more brand partners are going to get a check on a weekly basis than on the current plan. So let that sink in for a moment. With this reallocation, again, we're not looking to take money out of the plan. We're looking to reallocate that by de-emphasizing the binary, putting it in a multitude of other ways that will keep people who are coming on board that aren't making any money outside of the product introductory bonus, the PIB. And then the third objective, which is really important, is to make sure that we are rewarding balanced building opportunities, a balanced business, because that is one that's going to sustain the test of time for you and your families in sustaining that model of balance. And so as we think about a binary, you think about your 2 legs, and then you think about everything else when you personally sponsor in your enrollment tree, all of those other people, all of that other volume, your personal purchases, your personal customer purchases, this makes out an amount called outside largest line volume. We're going to be talking about that today during your education so that you can get your head around that. Your 2 primary lines, and then everything else that's outside that. And so as we move forward, as we have a look at, all right, what are the 9 ways to earn? This is what today is all about. This is what your leaders are going to be educating you and training you. This is the story that's going to be told. And each one of those rewards you in a different way, whether it's talking to your friends and family that might just want to buy the product but don't want to sign up to be a brand partner, taking advantage of wholesale pricing by signing up on the preferred customer program. There's that group. Then you have, for that brand new person, the ability to put cash in their pockets through bonuses, through a quick start program. Everything is going to be in there that you're going to be learning today. So beneficial. And for leaders, for those of you that are in the room right now or on the broadcast right now on this virtual presentation, for you, this is an opportunity where you will be rewarded for working in depth, working your tap roots to work in depth, identifying key talent in each of your lines of sponsorship, working with that person, mentoring them, and helping them be successful and actually earn a mentor match on that person like never before. And we'll be talking about that today. So these are the areas, as you think about compensation, think about it like a milkshake. Think about it having features and benefits, and just break it down. And remember, the most important thing that you can do when you share the LifeWave Light and the enhancements of this plan is, what is the person that you're talking to looking for? What is it that they want? Identify and connect with their dreams, with their purpose, and you will be able to take everything that you're learning here today, apply it to the conversation, and help them to change their life, to live long, to live well, and to live young. Have a great day.